Good day. My name is Paul Harnish. I'm a student at the University of Portland. This presentation is for the class EDU 558 with Dr. Carroll. Today we're using Excel and I just want to demonstrate how to use pivot tables and what they would be used for. Here you can see a set of data with the course number as well as questions 1 to 8, which are satisfaction answers, I guess, on a Likert scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being not satisfied and 5 being completely satisfied, as well as column J is the expected grade, with gender, 1 being male, 2 being female, and the year of birth. To demonstrate pivot tables, well, first of all, I'd like to start off just by renaming our sheets here, just so that it's easy to go back and forth and make sure you don't get the data mixed up with the other information. So going on a new sheet, you have to go to the Insert tab and click on Pivot Table. A pivot table, we'll see what it does here. So first of all, you have to pick the data. Oh, sorry, we'll go to the sheet. You have to pick all of the data that you'd like to include in your pivot table. A pivot table is basically a crosstab. If you're used to using SPSS or SysStat or other um, statistical software, that's basically a crosstab. There's a bunch of different things that you can use in your crosstab. So as you can see here on the right-hand side, your pivot table information is here. So these are all of the choices and titles of your data. You'll notice that, oh, expected grade is there. Didn't work for me before, so we'll have to test that out today. All right, so if I wanted to see the course number, let's say, so we have 5 different courses, and I want to see how each of them um, did for question 1. So what we have here is we have question 1 with the crosstab of the course. You need to have some data in there, so again, I'll use question 1. The default here, as you can see, is the sum of question 1. Well, if it's a Likert scale and you're adding up all of these numbers, it doesn't make sense to have them all summed up, so we will change our field settings to count. And what we're doing here is you will notice that it's counting up the number of ones for column for the course 1. You can see there are 3 ones, 3 fours, and 4 fives for a total of 10 people. Um, again, rating for course number 2, rating at a 1, we have 7. Rating at a 2, we have 3. Rating at 3, we have 2. Rating of 4, we have 1. Rating of 5, we have 2 people saying that for a total of 15. So this is actually the count for the number of people rating the course. Now, typically, when you're analyzing data, you will want to know the percentages of people that said each of the responses. So in order to find that out, you have to copy this because you can't use this data in your formulas, I've discovered. And then paste your data over here. And when you paste it, you want to paste special and just paste the values. Then using that values, I always like to copy it again because I do want to find out the percentages. So copy this data again. I just want to use the table basically, and I'll delete the information in the middle. You will know that in order to use a formula, you have to use the equals. I want to know, I guess, the percentage of respondents that said in course number 1 that rated it a 1. I would then have to divide that by the total. Of course, if I want to keep the total will always be 87, I have to put a $sign to keep the row and the column. You need a $sign in each of them. And then we can copy this formulas across on a row. Once we get them there, we can copy them all the way down. I'd like to change these into percents. Right now they're just decimals, so then I have to format the cells to a percentage. And in doing that, oh, maybe I should change the decimal places. Might be nice. You might want to have 2, but it's easier data to look at when you have 0. So now that we have the data here, I mean, you can do a top box analysis. You can look at those that rated at a 4 or 5 for course number 1. There was only 8% of the total. Those that rated it 2, this is again is out of the total respondents, but that might not be useful. You might want to have this as the total. So see here. So if you wanted to do that, this is out of the total responses, but if you wanted to do the total for each question rather than the total number of respondents that answered, you can also do that just by taking the 3 out of the 10 to have 30% that rated course number 1. All right, there's also a variety of other options, I guess, you can have for pivot tables. When you do create a pivot table, as I indicated, you could have the sum. We'll try one other pivot table just quickly. You can insert a pivot table. Again, you have to pick your range. Oops. Go back to the data again. Again, picking all of the data. One thing of note here is the expected grade is on there. I didn't know if it would include that because it's not numbers. So let's check out expected grade. We'll go to the expected grade on the top here. Let's do that by gender. See if there's a difference in gender for expected grade. And it does put the letters in there, so that was nice to see. And the count went in as count. I guess I couldn't do a sum because it was letters. Again, you could take that data to find the percentages. So again, you do a repeat of what we did already. Is copy this table. Copy. I'll put it below here this time. Paste values. And I guess I could just paste the values again. And this time, delete the numbers inside because I want to have percentages. So again, do the quick little formula equals this one divided by the total. Okay, and then of course I want to copy that, and the total will remain the same. So I need the dollar signs in there to keep the row and the column the same. And then I can copy that across. And copy that down. All right. And again, I can format the cells to a percentage with no decimal places. And ta-da! So then you can see that 37% of males determined that they thought they would get an A on the course. 41% of the total respondents were male. So you could also calculate that 37 of 41 to find out the percentage of males that thought that they were going to get an A. So this is basically a summary of pivot tables. I hope you found this lesson very valuable. Thank you very much.